Hey everyone, Social Solipsist here for another episode of 52 and 52, and this week I am taking a look at Spacecom. Now, some of you may remember last week I talked about the RTS aspects of Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time and not being, RTS not being really my genre. However, this week, Spacecom is an RTS. It's something I picked up in a recent Humble sale, I believe, and I decided to play it despite being an RTS purely because it's a very, very simplified version of the formula, and it definitely advertises itself that way. In fact, I couldn't help but think that it was very similar to another game that I played a few years back. One of the that came, it was part of one of the very earliest Humble bundles called Euphoria or Euphoria HD, which is also available on Steam. And basically, both games are incredibly simplified RTSs where you're not working on building tons of units and micromanaging. It's very, very much on the macro scale. You've got a pulled out view of the systems. Each of the systems that you own can have a very short list of extra buildings that you can build on them to basically make them specialize in a certain thing. And you only have 3 types of units that all kind of play rock, paper, scissors with each other to some extent. You basically got, I don't remember the exact terms that they use for all the types, but there's siege, there's siege that destroy planets. There are battle units that basically fight other units, and there's invasion units that take over planets and make them yours. And basically, it's all about that sort of rock, paper, scissors and managing your single resource, which is basically ownership of planets and their resources and your ability to produce more as a result of ownership. And it's definitely a very interesting dynamic. It's more, I would almost say it's more so a puzzle game than it is an RTS in a number of ways. Certainly in the single player sort of tutorial / campaign thing, you're given a set of tasks to complete on any given level, and once you complete them, the level's over. It's not necessarily always conquest. Sometimes it's, hold out and defend for a certain amount of time or something like that, or destroy the enemy base or something like that. Again, very simple kind of puzzly type of thing. And at its base level, it doesn't have. It's not an RTS that has like a pause button or anything like that. But it does have 3 production and movement speeds, basically slowing down and speeding up the game. And at the slowest speed, if I'm like scrambling to get something done in a timely fashion and organize a bunch of stuff to happen at the same time, the slowest speed is perfect for. I'm not getting too stressed out by the process of, oh no, I need to get this done before I see this invasion fleet. I gotta, really quickly build some units or something like that. I think it's the perfect speed for that, and that's often one of my gripes with RTSs, even ones that are more suited to my tastes, is that sometimes the base speed can be a little too quick, and I sort of lose track of everything I need to do. Meanwhile, it does have the, speed up. So if you just say, well, I just need to pump out a bunch of units. I don't want to wait here for 10 minutes to watch it happen. Let's just speed it up real quick. And that works great. Visually, it's nothing really special to write home about. Your units are little triangles. Everything is, demarcated very clearly exactly what it is. You're never like, what does that icon mean or anything like that. Everything at the end of the day is basically just very clean and easy to read, and that is definitely what they needed to do for this game, and they did it. They did it admirably. They kept it simple, kept it easy to read and easy to learn. But that said, despite being easy to learn and easy to manage for somebody who's not great at RTSs like myself, There's definitely some depth and complexity to be had here. Again, similar to Euphoria, it's very much about the scenarios that can be built around these simple mechanics. It's never, they never give you anything, or at least as far as I got, which was a few hours in, I think. They never threw anything at me that seemed like totally ridiculous in its complexity, regardless of its ease. The tasks given were always fairly fairly simple for any given level. It wasn't, hey, micromanage 10 planets at the same time and complete these 5 tasks. It was, hey, this level you just have to defend, or something along those lines. So as far as the actual levels that are built, I think that was great. There's an online and there's a skirmish mode. I have to assume the skirmish is just like a conquest versus mode in single player, and of course the multiplayer I assume is conquest versus in multiplayer. I didn't actually try either of those. It wasn't really the appeal for me, and I didn't feel like I was good enough at the game to begin with to really go there. But with the time that I did spend in the main game, I did have a pretty darn good time. I genuinely consider coming back to this one multiple times. It's not something I'll probably sit around for hours getting really good at it playing a lot. But it's such a solid formula and handled very well that at no point was I getting my RTS frustration of, oh God, I can't handle this. I just need to stop. Props to them for that. I guess besides that, there's not a huge amount to talk about. It's a very simple game at its core. There's some decent background music and whatnot. But besides that, I really don't know what else to talk about. I think it's a good pickup. I'd be willing. I don't know if any of my friends have it. I might be willing to give it a go with them. I also don't know. I don't know if there's a co-op mode or anything. Either like cooperative versus or any sort of complex alliances that can be done in the larger game with other people or with AI. I probably should have looked into that in the skirmish mode. There might be those options, and I'd be curious to see. But if any of my friends had this or picked it up and said, yeah, let's give it a go, I'd probably give it a go as well. It's a curious little thing, and I'll probably come back to it. I think it's also available on mobile as well. And I'd be curious to see, if I do remember that correctly, I'd be curious to see what the UI elements are like, because on the display, I mean, it should be apparent in the video that you're probably going to have to watch this full screen or not at all, because all of the UI and all that is scaled very small to clearly be, I think I'd be hard pressed to even play it on a normal 15-inch laptop or something like that, because the stuff is so small. They may have handled UI scaling well, but I'd also be curious to see again if it is on mobile, and I'm pretty sure it is, how well they adapt all of the UI elements, because it wouldn't be one-to-one. They definitely have to make some adjustments. Yeah. So anyway, I had a good time with it. I'll come back to it, and yeah, maybe I'll I might do a series on it. Honestly, I genuinely might. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I have been the Social Solipsist. This has been 52 and 52, and I will see you guys next time.